What does your style say about you? Sassy and confident, or, oh my gosh, I need help? On this episode of Sassy AFTV, professional stylist Rose Jubb gives us some great tips how to declutter your wardrobe and dress as the sassy, badass, in-demand woman you are without breaking the bank. So stay tuned and learn how to align your closet and your confidence. Welcome back to another episode of Sassy AFTV. Rose, I'm so excited that you're here today.
Hello! I'm excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna freaking love Rose. I just have to say, like, you will forever be ingrained in my mind wearing the most amazing hot pink pantsuit ever created on this earth, and it's like the perfect outfit on you, and I loved it, and I was like drawn to you like a moth to a flame. So you wore that outfit, and I'm like, Rose, you are my people.
That's good. I'm going to keep wearing things like, if you're the kind of person I draw to me when I wear something like that, I'm going to keep wearing things like that because it was amazing to meet you too. So I'm so glad we connected.
Yay. Yeah, it was awesome. I read this. I've been reading this book this morning, and it was talking about, you know, the different types of people that we are, either visual people, audio people, or kinesthetic type people, right? And of course, we all are probably like a little bit of a combination. But the woman writing the book was describing herself as, you know, if she goes into a store and sees a sweater, the color will draw her to it, but then she has to touch it. And if she touches it and it feels like shit, she's like, oh no. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so me. Like, I'm all about drawn to it and then have to touch it. I'm very kinesthetic in that way.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm the visual, obviously, like it makes sense. I'm a visual person completely. I can solve any visual problem, not any math problem though. And so.
Right. I'm with you.
We all have our talents.
Right, absolutely. We got to draw to our strengths. Well, let me just say who you are, and then I'll let you give more of an intro. Yeah. But Rose Jubb is an image consultant, style expert, and visibility coach. She is probably the most stylish woman that I know, and that is why I wanted to bring her on today to talk to in-demand women about how you can step into your power and really own your style and why that's so important. So Rose, tell us about yourself. Tell us how you got into this business. Tell us who you are.
Okay, thank you for having me. Well, I have a unique background for a stylist. I actually come from a background of marketing and psychology. Styled people, got into people's closets my entire life, but never made it my career until after I had my son in my 30s. So finally like stepped into it and did it, and it has taken off since then. I love the fact that I have those past lives of working in marketing and design and psychology, because specifically I love working with women that have really big ambitions and goals, and they tend to have businesses or careers where they really do have to use their image, leverage their image to get where they want to go. So that is kind of my focus. I help women align their closets and their confidence with where they are going in the world. And I do it lots of different ways, online and personally, personal sessions, and then an entire online platform, really fun, awesome. Like interactive groups.
That's awesome. Well, and I know that I'm a part of your Facebook community, and it is a really fun group. And I love that women come in there and they're asking questions about what they like to wear, when they went shopping, etc. And it is a really important part of, you know, our existence, and, you know, the image we put forth in our physical appearance is important, regardless of whether you're getting dressed up for a formal event or, you know, picking up your kids from school, right?
Totally. Yeah, it's completely connected to, we're very visual creatures. And when we look in the mirror, like the visage we see and like the image that we see, it's really connected. And this is where the psych background comes in. It's really connected to our identity in ourselves. So even if you don't have a business, even if you don't have this career that you're going after, or something that, you know, you would think image would be very important for, even if you don't have that, I really like to encourage women to show up for themselves, as themselves, in the most comfortable but confident way they can, because it really sends a message to yourself. Like, you talk about mindset and self-care a lot. And I see it as part of my self-care, as showing up for myself is, you know, looking in the mirror and liking what I see. It really, I don't care what everybody else thinks. Like you do have to like factor it in a little bit as far as like a marketing thing once you start talking to business owners and that kind of thing. But if I'm just going out in the world and I'm a mom and I don't have a business, I don't have anything else, I'm you know, rocking my mom life and doing the pickups and the drop-offs and the PTAs. I still, even though I'm not selling anything, I still want to feel the most confident I possibly can. And that is really connected to our identities and showing up for ourselves.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I love that. I love that. And you know, it really just triggered for me because, you know, I, like you said, I do talk a lot about mindset and affirmations and self-care. And I'm really a huge fan of mirror affirmations. So I always have written on my mirror some saying, right, to just remind me. But if you think about it, you're always looking in the mirror, even if you're looking in the mirror brushing your teeth, or you're looking in the mirror just to check, like, you know, your underwear is not hanging out of the back of your pants or whatever, right? We're always looking in the mirror. So if you look in the mirror and you feel good about what you're wearing, comfortable, which I think is huge, right? We don't have to wear things that make us feel icky or itchy or out of our own skin, but it is part of your self-confidence and your self-image, regardless of what activity it is that you're doing.
And there's really cool science behind it too, because in our psyche, when we see something positive in the mirror about ourselves and we like it without even knowing it, we start to feel more positive feelings about ourselves, think more positive thoughts about ourselves, and then we go out and do more positive actions for ourselves because we're just proud of the person staring back at us. And it's so internal. Everybody has been to a party where you see a gal walk in and you're like, I could never pull that off, but girlfriend is walking in with so much confidence that she's pulling off anything. It's all about the confidence every time. And fit is style, but you know,
absolutely.
That's the stylist part of me that's like, gotta say fit is style.
Right. Well, you know, there's something to be said for like the power suit, right? And, you know, I feel like that when I first started in corporate America, it was all about wearing suits every day. And I had, you know, a million skirt suits and pantsuits. I loved shopping at like the Limited and Ann Taylor and having all those really like tailored jackets. And that to me, and wearing like pantyhose and heels. And that to me was like really powerful because I was a young woman starting off in my sales career. And I wanted to show up to these, you know, I was talking to bankers and accountants and, you know, people that worked in these big high-rise buildings and a lot of men. And I felt like if I just showed up dressing the part, I owned it. And they were much more likely to listen to what I have to say and take me seriously versus if I showed up wearing something where it wasn't representing my position of power and self-confidence, I wouldn't have felt as secure in giving my pitch.
Oh, and completely. And the funnest part of my job is and the reason I love working with business owners as well is because as soon as you hop into the role of CEO for your own company, that power kind of transforms and you actually get to like mold it into your own thing. And it can be really overwhelming at first. They're like, what is my style? I don't even know. Now I have all this power. I can wear whatever I want to work because I'm my boss. But it's really interesting work with them because we have to think about checking some boxes as far as like expectation, looking knowledgeable, looking trustworthy, but then how do they stand out? It's the personality part that piece is almost always missing because we could dress like Marie Forleo, you know, and just like, at least we're checking the boxes. We look like we're an expert. We look like we'd be fun on stage. But if we don't really feel like ourselves in the mirror, and that's why I say, I really don't care what everybody else thinks. Because if we feel truly like ourselves and put that personality element on top of it and lock that in, that's when brands get built. Because you're feeling like truly like you and you're showing up and you start to get this vision about what the company is about as well, based on your personality. And then what happens is, amazingly, these clients that love you for you, because you're over here like waving your flag and your image, because you're walking around as a piece of your marketing every day. You're over here waving your flag and the ideal clients start showing up and get drawn to you. Just like you got drawn to me in that
It's
pink
true.
dang jumpsuit.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I had to think about what I was wearing today. I was like, ooh, I better look good while Rose is I'm interviewing Rose.
It's so cold here today, and my office is so chilly.
Oh.
Because to do videos and stuff, I have to turn off the heater. It's a little loud.
Right.
And so I was like, what is the shiniest sweater that I have? Because
Right.
I am so cold right now.
Use that energy to, like, you know, get you going so you don't fall asleep, right? So what do you find is the biggest challenges that either you're just seeing in other women, or when they come to you, they're like, oh my God, help me. I don't know what to do.
The overwhelm of getting dressed in the morning is pretty severe, and it's caused by a few different things. Overstuffed closets full of fairly cheap items. So I try to guide my clients and guide my members and even like listeners to the podcast, and watchers of the show, which we'll talk about. I try to guide them towards quality over quantity. We are bombarded in this society with, you got to have new, you got to be fresh, you got to have new. Right. So the fashion industry has responded to that. We wanted more. So, you know, think about 50 years ago, clothing was more expensive, but a lot, it's well made. There's a reason there's vintage shops that have clothes from the 60s. There's not going to be vintage shops that have clothes from the 2000s.
Right.
It's going to be rare unless it's designer stuff, because it's not going to last. So the first problem is always overstuffed closets. The items are too cheap. You got to stop buying clothes where you buy groceries. That's all I'm saying.
That might be the title right there. You got to stop buying clothes where you buy groceries. I love it.
Just walk away. I made a post the other day. I was like, retail therapy is not therapy. Therapy is therapy. So if you got feelings that you need to work out, please walk away from the clearance rack.
Oh my God, I'm so guilty of all of that.
We all
so guilty of all of that.
We all are, because it feels really good to have something fresh sometimes. But if that is something that you need, I really compel you guys. I invite you to just pick up your phones right now, do a little unless you're watching this on your phone. After.
Exactly. Don't pause. Don't pause.
After, Google consignment store in your area and watch all the little red dots come up, or a resale store or a thrift store. I go into these places, guys, and half the stuff has tags on it still. And it is 1/8 of the price of new. And it's really high quality. And even if it is coming from, you know, the more fast fashiony places with the tags on, at least I will say, you're not sending a message to the fast fashion places. Because every time we go into a retail place like that is overproducing things and polluting, it's the second highest industrial pollution causer in the world is the fast fashion industry. And not to mention all the horrible things that happen to the people, mostly women, that have to make these clothes. So when you go in there and buy something, you're sending a signal to them saying, oh, they like this, they like this, we're going to make more. So it's not a one-time thing. It takes over 3 years worth of the water you would drink to make one cotton t-shirt.
That's crazy.
More water than you would drink in 3 years.
That's crazy.
So when we say, it's not a big deal just this one time, it actually is a big deal. So let's train ourselves, try our best to buy higher quality and, you know, try to work down the amount of items in our closets. It's going to make it easier to get dressed in the morning. It's going to make you happier overall, because you're going to have more money left over at the end of every month, boss. Like it's a budgetary thing too. And then you're just going to look better. Sorry, it's going to happen.
Right.
Because the higher quality the clothing, the more up-leveled, legit, elevated you look overall.
Right. No, I hear you. And I love consignment. And I know you're in Portland where they have the best shopping. I have to say you were very lucky to live in such a fantastic place. The last trip that I had to Portland, I had some really good finds at consignment, and it was awesome. And I love doing consignment as well. You know, where I live, the consignment stores are kind of like mediocre. And sometimes, you know, sometimes I find good finds, but if I'm traveling, I always try to seek out consignment stores because I find that it's fun to see what other cities have and what the styles are, the trends are in different places. And I agree, you can absolutely get great quality at a fraction of the price. Yeah. But here's the question that pops to mind. You know, we are in-demand women. We have so many demands on our time, whether they're personal demands, professional demands, et cetera, right? We don't have a lot of time to go seeking out the items at a consignment store that they may or may not have, they may or may not fit, et cetera, et cetera. And then on top of that, we're bombarded with all this appeal through online, right? We're on Facebook, we get all these Facebook ads, and we're on email, and we're, you know, Old Navy, Forever 21, H&M, they're all bombarding our email. So it's so tempting to do all this online retail therapy, right? Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? How do we balance the time spend and the efficiency to do the right kind of shopping?
Right. So there are definitely online options for various consignment. So you can Google online consignment as well. Thrift Up is a great option for finding really great items, you know, at a fraction of the cost. A lot of it has tags on it still. That's fantastic. Honestly, I'll tell you a little secret.
Tell us.
So you want my little secret?
Yes.
Now I'm going to ruin it for myself, and everybody's going to be bidding on the things I want.
Right.
So did you know that Goodwill has an online shop?
No, I had no idea. We don't even have Goodwill where I live. Well, I think
that's not true, because I know there's a Santa Barbara one.
We do have, okay, you're right. It's downtown. It's just out of my circuit. You're right.
So you can buy items online from them and they'll ship it to you. It's like a bidding system. So I find a lot of designer high quality pieces with tags on. I just got an Escada jacket, ladies, and that's a very high end designer. It's a $700 jacket. No kidding. I got it for $30 shipped to my door. And it had tags on. That's awesome. It's very possible to do that online shopping. Find out your favorite brands. There's Poshmark. There's all sorts of different ways that we can support and Etsy. Etsy's great as well for vintage items as well, if you like that. There are ways to do it for sure, but I totally understand the need to, you know, sometimes you have to do something really quickly online. There are some retailers that are moving towards a more sustainable way of making and selling clothing. H&M has a very specific, it's only a small amount of their clothing. It's not all of their clothing. There's a small amount of, I think it's their conscientious line, whatever, is sustainable. But you can also just look up sustainable designers that you love in your area, then you're supporting local. You can just look up online. It's out there. What I encourage you to do is unsubscribe from those fast fashion emails and don't go to the websites and don't click on the ads, because they're just going to keep popping up.
Right.
Yes. That's one option.
That's great. So what are like your top, I don't know, 3, 5, 2, whatever. What are the top items that, you know, these high quality staple items that we need to have in our closets that are the go-tos? You have them, they're going to make or break any time of day, any type of event. What do we need to have in the closet?
It completely depends on your style type. There's lots of different style traits. Usually people have 3 to 5 that they kind of live in. But I'll tell you what, a really good finishing piece, no matter what your overall style, vibe, or personality is, finishing pieces are very important, especially for in-demand women, because it will shape up an outfit like that. And by finishing pieces, I mean jackets, blazers, vests, something that there's a base outfit, you got a blouse, nice pair of pants, and then you put on this finishing piece, and it just really finishes the whole look. Throw on some earrings, walk out the door. Like, it's a very simple formula once you get used to it. But when you have a really high quality jacket, or blazer or something that screams your personality, but has structure, because that structure does something interesting to other people's in their brains. They're thinking structure means responsibility, knowledge, even if it is in animal print, or even if it is in like a kind of punky plaid. As long as it's a cool shape and it's structured on you and you feel confident in it, all of a sudden it just ties it all together. So finishing pieces are really, really important.
No, that's awesome.
And when you get those higher level pieces, that's another thing. You'll start ignoring those fast fashion emails because you're like, oh, I have this now.
Right.
And now I know what it's like to wear that, because that felt good. It fits better. It looks better. There's no strings coming off it. It's just like, it's lasting a really long time. I don't have to adjust it all day. Just the quality, you'll get addicted to that instead of looking on the online space. Yeah.
So one of my favorite shows I used to watch, I used to be obsessed with the show What Not to Wear. And
yes.
I'm sure you've seen it.
Me too.
Yeah,
totally.
right? It was so good. Stacey and Clinton, I mean, they were the bomb. And I so wanted to get on that show, by the way, and have that $5,000 wardrobe makeover. And my husband's always like, girl, you dress way too well to have them even contemplate you. And I'm like, I'll just mess it up. I'll just start dressing like a complete slob and then you can nominate me. But I didn't do that. But one of the things that they always talked about, right, and you said this before, was fit. Like fit is so important. So they would say, they would send these women, sometimes men, on these shopping sprees. They would go to these stores, they would try on all these clothes, and then they would send them to the tailor. And then the tailor would adjust, blah, blah, blah. So in theory, I think that's awesome. I don't have time to do that. So how do you navigate that? Like even online shopping, right? I'm hearing you say, I bought this awesome Escada jacket. I'm thinking, oh shit, what if it doesn't fit?
It's worth it to have it tailored once you have a certain amount of, like a small amount of high quality. The time I take to shop every year has lessened almost to nothing. Once in a while, I'll say, you know what? I need to retire that cream sweater. I've gotten makeup on it too many times. This is, it needs to be retired. I will recycle it. If it's stained or damaged, you never want to donate it. It wastes their time. You can recycle it though. 99.9% of clothing is recyclable. You never want to throw it away. If it goes in the landfill, the polyester fiber, it's bad for the earth. It's bad for everything. It clogs everything up. So recycle it. Everything can be recycled into new clothing and other things. Pretty cool. Getting things tailored is a lot faster than people think. It's kind of one of those mindset things where you're like, do you have something in your life where you're like, vacuuming would take forever. I hate vacuuming. And therefore it feels like it takes forever.
Yeah.
But going into most dry cleaning shops have somebody that can do tailoring or small fixes. So if you know that you need your pants down like up an inch, just take them in and say, I need these hemmed 1 inch. It does not take that long at all. Sometimes they'll have you try it on. Sometimes they won't. You'll be in and out of there in 15 minutes. And some larger, higher end retailers like a Nordstrom have tailors on staff. Even the Nordstrom rack has a tailor. As long as they're open, there's a tailor there that can come in and tell you in the fitting room while you're already trying on clothes. Yeah, I can take that in. I can let it out. I can hem that. And this is how much it costs.
Right.
And if you're buying the higher quality pieces, it's always worth it to make it look tailored. And if it takes $10 to make something look tailored, girl, I'm going to do it.
Right.
Because it looks $1,000 better for that $10 investment.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, these are the things like I need to hear, right? Because I'm so the fast fashion girl. Like there's a Ross down the street. I get over there all the time and I'll pick stuff up. And then I did do one of those Marie Kondo style clean outs.
Yes.
And I said, thank you to so many items of clothing that I had to get rid of because they were worn out. They were cheap fabrics, blah, 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 which I didn't know about recycling them. So now I'm going to have to implement that. But it's very tempting. It's very tempting to have this. And I do completely have that idea of, I have to have new things all the time. So how do you, if somebody has, a smaller wardrobe, they've pared down, they've gotten a higher quality, right? How do you reconcile in your mind how you're going to change it up so that you don't have this perception that, oh my gosh, I'm wearing that thing again, and they're going to notice it. They out there, whoever they are, right?
Yeah, it happens to me too. And I'm a stylist, and I know for a fact they don't care. They are not paying attention. Unless you're wearing a hot pink jumpsuit every day of your life. They're not going to notice, right?
Right.
But I notice. And if I look in the mirror and I'm like, old, boring, that is not fun. You're right. The easiest way, and I think the most cost-effective way and the most fun way to switch up outfits are through accessories. So, and it's a great way to stay on trend. Now, some people love staying on trend. Usually my gals are like, if it's not fresh, I don't like it. If I wear it a few times, then I'm like, ugh, I'm over it. Those gals, I'll say, get your base outfits, get your finishing pieces that look amazing with those, stay on your personality, and then you can start adding over the top accessories that mean something to you. So when you're on vacation, go to a market and find a cool necklace that's like makes your heart sing. And then when you wear that and you get a compliment on it, you can say, oh, thank you. I got this on vacation at this place. It was a really great way to take a break because I own my own business. Oh, you own your own business. Oh, interesting. What do you do? They're conversation starters.
Totally.
They're amazing conversation starters, and it means something to you at the same time. So they're the easiest way to really switch up an outfit. Because if I threw on a vest and a really cool choker and change out my hat, all of a sudden it's a different outfit altogether, right? As well, and really change up an outfit. Obviously, I know a little about that.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Accessories and shoes. It includes headwear. And if you're not somebody that loves trends, that's okay too. Our friend Stacey London always said, trends are a buffet.
Right.
You take what you want from the buffet and then you leave what's not right for you. Don't spend a lot of time lamenting the fact that there's a lot of ruffles this season. Like, boring.
Right.
Just focus in on what you love. And then when you put on those trends, what happens is people will subconsciously start thinking, oh, she's current. Yeah, she's contemporary. She's going to be up to date on what's happening in her industry. I'm getting what I'm paying for when she coaches me. Or, she's going to know the newest and best way to help me. Yeah, it's accessories is the key there.
No, I love that, especially as a conversation starter and having something meaningful to you. Like this necklace that I chose to wear today, my grandmother actually gave it to me, who passed on a couple of years ago. And, it has all the different colored stones you probably can't see. But, when I wear it and it's a heart and she left hearts and it makes me feel like, she's close to my heart right now. So having that piece, makes me feel good. And then I have these earrings that a friend of mine made. And she's a jeweler, and I saw her at a fair that she was selling her work, and I was just admiring all of her things, and she gave them to me as a gift because she's like, oh my gosh, you'd have to have them. They go perfect with your outfit that you're wearing. And so I wear them, and I feel special, like, oh, this is something that I got from Janie, and she wanted me to have it, so it makes me feel good. So even though I could wear these with many different, looks, when I'm wearing them, I'm thinking of that moment. So it's a really great point about, how the accessories really add value to your style.
Totally. And it doesn't have to be an expensive piece. It just has to be something that you love. And quality is great in accessories as well, but that's my sentimental part, because I really think that it can never feel unfresh. It can never feel old to me if it's something that I love for a specific reason.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's awesome. So before we wrap up and you tell us about the new and exciting things going on with you, I'd love to hear if you have some wisdom or motivation of why women watching this really need to take in what you're saying and be mindful of how they are making their appearance work for them in their style in a way that's comfortable for them, why they should give a shit about showing up in the way that they look.
All right. Well, if you're watching this, most likely you're on some sort of, self-improvement journey, on a self-care journey, on a mindfulness journey of some sort. If you're watching this girl, like obviously you're going places, right? You have style. And anybody who says they don't, I say, oh, you have it. But whether or not you're leveraging it is another story altogether. You are sending a message out to the world and to yourself and your own heart every day when you get dressed in the morning. So I would just be very conscious of, okay, what is that message that I'm sending? Is it a message that I respect myself and I get up every day and I look in the mirror and I love myself enough and I feel really confident and I go out in the world ready with my shoulders back and my eyes up, ready to see opportunities? Or is it, oh my God, I hope Karen doesn't see me in the frozen food aisle because I look like crap and I have a stain on these sweatpants and crap, like, you know, is it that kind of vibe? Like, we want to be on the other one, right? So I just want to change style from something that was always, you know, something to make us look skinnier or be more flattering or fit in or look more affluent than we are. If we change that from that, which is all like fitting in and trying to, you know, be somebody that we're not, if we flip it and use style instead to internally just make ourselves more buoyant, and there's so many things like working against us, like we might as well really show up for ourselves in every way possible. And I think the confidence in your closet, it's hanging in there. It's just, are you ready to put it on or not?
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. I love it. Ah, so good. And I hope that everybody watching and listening is prepared to go through their closet, take out all the stuff that is overcrowding it, and is ready to really step into being the awesome, badass woman that you really are.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
Yes, do it.
So Rose has some really exciting things going on in her life, and I'd love for you to share with us and tell everybody where they can find you, how they can connect with you, how they can learn even more amazing tips from you in your style journey.
Totally. Well, you can find me at my style class on almost every single platform. So Instagram, Facebook, go to mystyleclass.com. If you go to mystyleclass.com/quiz, you can actually find out what your top 3 style traits are. So if you're completely lost right now and I was talking about style personality and being yourself, and you're like, I have no clue what my style personality is, I have a simple, fast little quiz at mystyleclass.com/quiz that will help you find that. The really fun news is that everything I've talked about today, all of my passion about that has been kind of funneled into a new TV show that is launching on Amazon Prime Video November 1st.
So exciting.
Oh
my God, it's amazing.
Yeah, if you're watching this after November 1st, girl, you can open it up on your phone right after this and watch me on a show called Closet Goals. So you can totally check it out. If you want more information about how to watch Closet Goals on Amazon Prime Video, you can go to closetgoals.show. Very, very easy. And there's even some bonus footage out there that will connect with the episodes. So one episode, there's a limited season coming out of 3 episodes, and we're just talking to some people about expanding that. So check out those 3 episodes launching. First one is launching November 1st.
That's awesome. What a treat. It's going to be so great. Watch out, Stacy.
No. She's my mentor and she doesn't even know it. So
she's awesome. It's going to be what not to wear moves into Closet Goals. I love it.
Yes.
It's amazing. Well, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for you. It's going to be awesome. And I'm so appreciative of you being here today, sharing. I absolutely love watching you, seeing your style. I love watching when you go to the consignment stores and you pick out the items for the people. And it's so much fun when you share what you find and you're trying on different things. And sometimes you showcase different items of clothing. And I'm like, I never thought about that kind of a piece. And I'm like, that could be really fun. So yeah. I love all the energy that you put into it. And I really do think that it's so important to put our best foot forward and put our best appearance forward so that we feel as awesome as we should feel.
Yes.
So thank you so
You're a
much.
rock star and you got to do it.
Right. Show our inner rock star badass. It's all of the things. Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for watching.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you were here today. I really appreciate your time and your expertise, and everybody watching and listening. Thank you for being here as well. Make sure to tune in for more episodes of Sassy AF TV, and we'll be with you next week. Have a good one. Bye. How much fun is Rose? I so wish I lived in Portland so I could go shopping with her on a regular basis. My bank account is probably better off that I don't, though. Thanks for being here with us and tuning in for another episode of Sassy AF TV. If you loved it, please take a screenshot and share it with your tribe. Don't forget to tag @Sassy Healthy Fit. Then make sure to head over to sassyhealthy.fit and sign up for our mailing list so you always know the latest and greatest in sassy fun. See you next time.